Our day of hope, a nation united in this most difficult time. Millions of Americans out of work, too many of them wondering where their next meal will come from. Well, everyone from our neighbors to celebrities pitching in, answering the call to help. Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson and his superstar wife Ciara will join us live in just a moment to tell us how they are helping. But first, take a look at some of the people making a big difference, right, little man? In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, over 850 cars lined up waiting for boxes of food. In New Orleans, volunteers prepared hot meals for people in need. Images like these seen across the country as millions of Americans are suddenly out of work. So many people stepping up, getting involved so no one goes hungry. Like the mystery resident providing these bagged lunches.
I hope to get enough food to last about 3 weeks, and that's about 3,000 pounds.
7th grader Matthew Reel collecting and distributing food. And celebrities.
We've already been able to feed hundreds of families and homebound seniors in Nashville.
Brad Paisley and his wife Kimberly Williams lending a hand in Nashville. Quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks Russell Wilson and his wife Ciara giving back to the city.
And we're going to donate 1 million meals to hopefully make a difference.
And the rock band Fall Out Boy remembering their roots, donating $100,000.
Chicago is a very special place to our band, so we decided to make a donation.
Houston Texan J.J. Watt grateful and inspired.
I think one of the most beautiful things about this country is when people come together during difficult times to help each other out.
The need is so large that Chicago's United Center transformed from a sports arena into a food storage facility. Then there are the incredible volunteers with the power to inspire us all, like Zoe in California.
We are here distributing dry food boxes that can feed anywhere from 3 to 4 people per family.
All-star chefs.
We took on this pandemic and turned Red Rooster into community kitchen.
There are organizations like World Central Kitchen delivering meals across the country with hashtag Chefs for America.
Y'all taking care of yourselves, taking care of each other?
Yes, sir. And this brewery converting into a pop-up food bank.
Doing a whole lot of good.
Then there are the creative problem solvers. Like the Front Steps Project, now with over 350 photographers. Started by Kara Sulia, making family portraits from a safe distance. In return, a donation to the local food bank.
Great to recognize that there are things we can control and ways to help while being a part.
The project raising more than $80,000 for over 55 community food banks and pantries. People recognizing that we're all in this together. We certainly are. And as promised, Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson and his wife Ciara have personally donated 1 million meals to their home state of Washington. 10 million more pledged to Feeding America in conjunction with the Meals Up initiative. And as promised, look at them. They're joining us live from their home in Los Angeles. Thank you both for getting up so early to join us, and congratulations. We know another baby is on the way. So Ciara, tell us how everybody is doing there at home. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
First of all, it's obviously always great to talk to you, Robin. I think, for us, it's definitely early on this side, I'm on the West Coast, but, we wake up pretty early, so this wasn't too bad for us. But, obviously, the world is going through so much right now, and America is going through so much. And I think, for us to just try to find a way to make a little bit of a difference, has been, important to us and heavy on our hearts. And I think that, even in Seattle, there's so much going on, so it's in our own backyard in Seattle. It's like there's just so much. So we've been really hoping and praying for America that all of us come together and try to do that.
Yeah, and I know, Ciara, you've always thought. You are a woman of faith, and that you really feel that you have a responsibility to step up and help in this regard, right?
Absolutely. I will say, Seattle is one of the places that hit the hardest in the beginning of all of this. And, when you think about it, at the core of it all, 2 of the greatest necessities and essentials are food and shelter. So it was really great for us to be able to, we really wanted to focus on those needs and the immediate needs. If you don't have food, how can you really go on with your days or start your days? So it was really important to us to be able to do that, and it was a blessing that we were able to. I think that's one of the things that we think about in this time is that we feel, while it's tough for all of us, like I always say, we're all in the same boat. It's a blessing to know that we're able to give in a time like this.
And to give in the manner that you're doing. And Russell, I know that your mother, she used to be in the ER nurse, and now she's still in healthcare and helping to even test people for coronavirus. Your beautiful mother that we're showing on the screen right now. So when you see your mom and you see the other healthcare workers, what goes through your mind, Russell?
Well, growing up in hospitals, my mom was an ER nurse, like you mentioned. And my dad, unfortunately, was in the hospital a lot, as you know, Robin, and died because of diabetes. And so I've been in hospitals a lot. And, we go to Seattle Children's Hospital and see all these nurses and doctors and just the sacrifice that they give, And my mom's in Seattle. She's a clinical nurse, and she's able to clinical leader there in Seattle. And she's helping UW. They have 4 different testing sites and everything around the community that she's helping kind of lead. And one of them is, in particular, she's helping give tests for coronavirus. And she's right in the middle of it all. And,
Wow.
You get a little bit worried, in that sense. But more importantly, when you think about, the sacrifice that my mom and other nurses and doctors and people are giving, that they're the true heroes. And, we're so grateful for them and what they're able to do, and just it means the world to us.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it does. And we can't say thank you enough to all the healthcare workers. And we can't say thank you enough to you, Ciara. You saw that hospital outside of in Pennsylvania, right? Who took that challenge, and they really, they are doing it. They are doing it. The Thomas Jefferson University Hospital in Philadelphia doing that Level Up challenge. How does it make you feel, Ciara, to know that what you're able to do can be so uplifting for people at a time, especially those on the front lines?
Oh my gosh, it touches me in a great way. It's really inspiring and very meaningful, especially at a time like this, because I look at that moment that they were having as an opportunity for them to still put joy in the world in the midst of the storm. It was really powerful, to be honest. I had to post and show them love, because we really are grateful for the doctors and the nurses of our world, because they're making big sacrifices right now, whether it's not spending time with their families, whether it's having limited time with their families, whether it's having to be extremely precautious with how they deal with their families. And there's just in their own lives. They're literally putting their lives on the line every day too. So it brought me so much joy to see something like that, especially at a time like this. So I had to show them some love, and we're just really grateful and proud of them in a time like this. We're really coming together. I think that's probably one of the greatest things that you can take from this time, is that I feel like we're going to come out of this stronger together as a nation, as a world. This is literally a time we're all on the same boat together. No one is exempt from this time and what's happening. And so to see moments like that, I know it brought me a lot of joy, and I'm pretty confident it brought a lot of other people around the world joy as well.
It sure does. And they can move. We're seeing these doctors and nurses, they've got some good moves out there. We know it is something to see.
They're not holding back now. They get low and everything. They're committed to it. They do it with perfection. I call them the Level Up champs.
Yeah. That's it. And Ciara, you're doing well. We know the baby's on the way, but you're doing well. Everything's going well.
The bump is bumping. I was looking this morning. I was like, I feel like I put a little teacup on her now. The bump is getting bigger. It's actually, honestly, a really interesting time being pregnant in COVID. And I actually do this fun thing called Women's Wednesdays. I've started on my Instagram Live, where I want to talk to women and kind of build community there and see what's happening with women all over the world. And I was like, the next conversation I really want to have is the pregnancy conversation, because what we're going through right now is interesting. Like, I know there's many of the mothers like me that are wondering, like, how will we be affected in this time? And you haven't heard a lot about the pregnant woman. So I think there's a lot to learn and talk about. The days are going slower now, because you're in the house the whole time. And as we're homebodies, but when someone tells you to be home, to stay home, then it's like, okay, it feels different. It's like, whoa, okay, now what do I really do at this time? And when I'm moving and, being able to go out a little bit every now and then for fresh air and just get around and be even date nights and all that stuff. Now we're not doing that, and we're having to be creative here. And I'm like, the days are going slower and slower, and I'm like, okay, and day number
but we're
6, you know.
But we're glad that people. Well, we're so glad that people are staying home. I'm sorry, I got to get the ginger, but we're so glad that people are staying home, and we're so happy what you are the definition of a power couple, you two. So bless you, thank you, and we'll keep in touch. You take care. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.